So thank you so much, Steve. And I'd like to call on my colleague, Tarek Kettaneh, who is a valuable member of our school and somebody with extensive experience in family business, to also join me here to say a few words about his experience. Tarek?
Ladies and gentlemen, I have 3 sons. And as such, I believe I have to treat them equally, meaning giving them the same opportunity, the same conditions, the same everything. This is how I see good parents should treat their children. Fast forward 20 years. I have a family business, and my 3 kids are working in the family business. They're all in sales. One of them is doing 50% better than his quota, the second one more or less the same, and the third one is a bum and is failing. But now I'm running a business, and I think they have to be compensated and evaluated based on their performance. But they're my kids. And as kids, I want them to treat them equally. And the conflicting issues between equality in the family and performance evaluation in a business are the root of many of the difficulties of managing a family business properly. In a family, what we call fairness is treating people equally. In a business, what we call fairness is treating on their contributions. And they don't go together usually. Let's go fast forward another 20 years. I'm 65 years old, and I'm one of those who has decided somebody has to succeed to me running the business. Who should that person be? The older son, the older child, somebody not from the family, somebody I decide who should he be, or should I ask other youngsters whom they would like to see as the boss? By what procedure do I decide how a successor should be selected? All these are matters which family business needs to grapple with one way or another, and they're important. Not only that, that's for the management side, but then I own the shares of my company. Do I give them equally to my kids? Do I give them to them when I'm still alive, when I'm still running the business, or after I retire? Or do I favor a designated successor to give him majority? Again, a number of issues that have to do with governance and family succession. Not easy. Generation later, the 3 kids are married, they have 3 kids each. So now we have 9 cousins, 12 cousins. Are they all entitled to join the family business? Unlikely. So who can join? Under what conditions? Can the husband of my daughter join the family business? Can he be shareholder? And so on and so forth. So unless you introduce progressively concepts of governance in terms of policies and procedures, chances are that this business will never make it to the 3rd or 4th generation. On top of all that, I'd like to add one more consideration. Businesses start in waves because it's entrepreneurs who start businesses. So if you take Lebanon, for example, after World War II, quite a number of Lebanese started importing cars. So it was a wave of car importers. Later on, film, photography. Later on, computers. Nowadays, maybe smartphones and digital stuff. But all these products which are being sold by these companies have a product life cycle. So 20, 30 years later, what used to be a novelty becomes a commodity. So the margins go down. The competition intensifies. And my young generation comes and says, Dad, we should get maybe out of this business. We should diversify elsewhere or move to another country. But I have been successful for 20, 30 years in this particular business. And frankly, by the time I'm 60, 70 years old, I'm rigid. But if you don't innovate, you fail. So now you have the conflict between the younger generation that sees the writing on the wall and would like to see changes, but they don't have the power, and the seniors who have control and power, who may or may not listen to the advice of their kids and either adapt and change or not adapt and, generally speaking, unfortunately, fail. Now, if this whole topic was what I'd call a minor topic, I'd say at the limit, who cares? No. So what? Let family businesses fail. But as you've heard from our dean, Very important in the world. I've got a few numbers for you to end here. The 5 largest companies in the MENA region have sales in excess of $10 billion. They have employees in excess of 10,000 employees. So they're not small firms. Some of them are over 100 years old, so some have managed to survive and last. You were saying 60%, in MENA 90% of the businesses are family owned. They represent 75% of the GDP of the area. So we need to help them sustain themselves, grow, innovate, grow, and so on and so forth. Yet, when you ask these companies, what are the big issues you see? Number 1, succession. Okay. What sort of plan do you have for succession? 50% have no plan. Okay. What's number 2? Governance. Excellent. What kind of plan do you have for governance? 50% have no plan for governance. Okay. How about innovation? That's our number 4 concern, they say. Okay. What are you doing about it? No clue. Okay. Very good. How about strategy? Oh yes, strategy important. That's number 3. What kind of strategy plan do you have? 50%, I'm saying 50 is 48, 52, around 50%, no plans. So you see the job is immense. And I rely on the speakers and the panelists this afternoon to enlighten us a little bit on the kinds of issues they're going to be facing and what possible solutions exist. Thank you very much.